This is my go-to option when people come into the store, which is pretty much every day. Someone comes in looking for a multivitamin who doesn't want to take multiple capsules. So I always point them in the direction of Emerald Labs. And by the way, we got Stan the Demo Man in house, folks. Stan the Demo Man right here at Healthy Habit. If you walk into the store and make a right, you'll see Stan there at his booth, and he's giving away coupons and literature for Emerald products, as well as samples for everything we're discussing here today with Stacy through Emerald Labs. Welcome back, everyone, to the Healthy Habit Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dayan of Healthy Habit Medical Center. This is episode number 82, and we're talking with Stacy Faulkner. And you might remember her from episode 67 and much more throughout the year of 2023. I'm excited to talk to Stacy of Emerald Labs today. Stacy's worked in the natural health industry since 2000 as a national educator for Emerald Labs. Stacy provides insight and understanding to those seeking information regarding better health through proper supplementation and self-care. And we're going to dive into men's health as a topic today and multivitamins. Stacy, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Dehan. Happy November. Just beautiful.
Happy November. You'll probably
Holiday
be hearing
season.
this towards the end of November, if not beginning of December for all the listeners. So let's dive right into it then. Why did you want to focus in on men's health as a topic today? Because it's an important one. You know, me at the clinic here, I'm getting a lot of men that come to see me for prostate concerns, bladder issues, low testosterone. So how did this hit your radar?
So it hit my radar because we just finished with October, which was focusing on women's health and breast cancer health, breast health in general. And I know that November is called Movember, so men will do the mustaches. And so we're
Right.
just focusing on men's health, which is something I think for so many years, women were taught at, 10 to 12 years old to start talking about breast health and getting, informed about that. And men and young boys never were in school and in health classes. And so I think that, with what's going on with our environment these days, to have them included and talking about men's health in general and having a specific month that's dedicated to that, and following October breast cancer or breast awareness for women, I think is applicable. So we're November 2nd, so we can talk about men's health, and especially since you see what is trending in your environment
Right.
about with your patients and the concerns and the questions that you're getting. We can kind of dive a little bit into this today, and we can always do another a deeper dive later on a specific
Sure.
formula.
Yeah, we'll see how much we can cover here in today's 23 minutes or so, but maybe do a part two next time on men's health. But we'll start with the men's multivitamin product. You don't just have a general multi through Emerald Labs, correct? We have men's and women's?
So with the specific genders for their multis, what we have
Right.
are we have a men's and we have a men's 45 plus. Okay. So the differences right away there are for gender specific is the men's 45 or the men's in general is going to have a little bit of extra zinc and a little extra lycopene. And for your patients or for the consumers that are coming into healthy habits, you're always going to be able to alert yourself to specific 2 to 3 bullet points that are right underneath the name of the title. So in this case, they're telling you right away that we're using the active B9 and additional zinc and lycopene. And when we talk about additional zinc and lycopene, that's just simply saying that we do have a 1 a day down, but this is gender specific. So Dr. Stangler, who's our formulator and naturopathic medical doctor, has added additional zinc and lycopene for the prostate support.
Amazing. And this is an iron-free formula. Most men don't need additional iron in their supplement. Most, of course, there's exceptions where some are low, but I remember recently dealing with a male patient whose ferritin stores were over 900, which is it's supposed to be like under 450 or so in the 300s, 200s range. This was 900. So a lot of men get plenty of iron and have enough in the blood. So and this is a one a
What would
day,
you
which is good. Did you want to go
attribute
ahead?
that to? What would you attribute that to, Dan? Would you just like men are like maybe more beefy meat eaters
A lot
or
of, yes, in that case, this guy was eating a lot of sausages and red meat.
oh
And I'm talking full steaks regularly,
yeah,
where we don't really need that much that often,
right.
every day. I mean, that's a ton of heme iron. So that all gets absorbed into the bloodstream. So, and it could be genetic a lot of times, Stacy. There's um, hemochromatosis where you can get just you have a genetic susceptibility where you absorb too much from your diet. So it could be multiple factors at play there. So that's good that this one doesn't have it in it. What else
And
can we
so,
find then in the men's multi compared to the women's? What's going to be a big difference? Would it be
so
the lycopene and zinc?
the big difference in right away for the women's would be Dr. Singler's added additional B6 and calcium
Oh, okay.
for the women's under 45. And so with this guy, with the zinc and the lycopene, we're really looking at antioxidant support, immune support. We're looking at the zinc in general, just really overall, we're looking at really trying to help keep the prostate not enlarged overall. And so what we're looking at is trying to support healthy urination. We're trying to support healthy prostate function. We're trying to support healthy cell, prostate cell division. And so a lot of people don't, or men in this case, or women too, when they're looking at their own
Right.
overall function, healthy function. But in this case, we're just looking at really prostate support right away, especially as someone ages. And so what do we have in here? The lutein, the lycopene, alpha lipoic acid, and grapeseed. The pure whey seed is a liposomal seed that's already in all of our multi. So that's a 12-hour sustained. And then albion mineral chelates. So these are really, really key ingredients for formulas that make this one a day. Remember, this is just a one a day.
Yeah.
Makes this a superior product for anyone that's going to be taking an Emerald Labs multi. But in this case, gender specific for just the men's daily under 45, Dr. Singler's added extra zinc, which is the albion zinc chelate, which is a biglycinate. And so highly, highly absorbable. So albion chelates are minerals to amino acids. And then we have a lycopene, which is really productive for the prostate health.
This is my go-to option when people come into the store, which is pretty much every day. Someone comes in looking for a multivitamin who doesn't want to take multiple capsules. So I always point them in the direction of Emerald Labs. And by the way, we got Stan the Demo Man in house, folks. Stan the Demo Man right here at Healthy Habit. If you walk into the store and make a right, you'll see Stan there at his booth, and he's giving away coupons and literature for Emerald products, as well as samples for everything we're discussing here today with Stacy through Emerald Labs, the additive-free company. Stan is very well versed when it comes to Emerald products, and he's been in this industry for decades, so he knows what he's doing. If you want to come in for extra help, sample coupons, come talk to Stan. And I like how on Emerald Labs, store.emeraldlabs.com, you can even head up here to the Men's Health tab. If you just click that, you'll have a whole list here of products that might be geared towards men's health. We covered the one-a-day multi, but there's that 45 plus men's one-a-day multi as well.
Before we go on to that, just at a glance, when we looked at the 2 to 3 bullet points that are on the front of the bottle, I want people or men to understand that the prostate, right, is very, very rich in the mineral zinc.
Yes.
So when you see pumpkin seed extract and things like that in men's health products, think about zinc. So the extra zinc is in there just as a little additional support from Dr. Singler, but also this lycopene, it really diminishes the oxidative DNA damage in the prostate cells, but also it's very high in carotenoids. And so it really, it converts to vitamin A for, another health aspect. And so that's zinc and lycopene right away for the men's daily gender support. And then the 45 plus, what we've got going on is I want people to understand you can always carry over extra zinc and lycopene, but then what Dr. Singler's added is patented Cetria glutathione, which is the Japanese company, which is our body's master antioxidant that does diminish with age. But again, we're looking at diminishing oxidative damage in the cells. And then what else is in here? The saw palmetto as being
Yep.
a full support for, it's really going to help decrease an enlarged prostate, which is mainly occurring with BPH. And so benign prostate hyperplasia. And so we're looking at diminishing that, enlarged prostate. And it really, that saw palmetto shrinks that inner lining that puts the pressure on the urinary tubes. And so a lot of times men with prostate issues have, an issue with frequent urination at night and, an unhealthy urination flow. And so we're really trying to, with some of these ingredients, decrease that.
Yeah, we even have the glutathione in there through Cetria or Cetria. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that one right.
Yes, that's your glutathione.
Right, and a lot of men have fatty liver.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men have the liver issues as they age, and the fatty liver diagnosis. So we can always use some liver support, and glutathione is that key liver nutrient, probably the most important liver nutrient. So I'm glad that that's included in the formula as well. So again, we have a 45 plus clinical multi. We even have the 1-a-day versions. So we have everything and more here through Emerald Labs. It just depends on what you're looking for. That's why it's good to come into the store here and help match it up to your unique situation, right? So that takes us to the prostate health formula then through Emerald Labs. Like I mentioned in the intro, a lot of people come to the clinic. A lot of men come see me for this issue on prostate health. So let's dive into this product and the unique ingredients in there.
So I would say right away that your listeners or your viewers should really be aware of the patented, registered, trademark ingredients that we're using in these formulas, because we are formulated by a naturopathic doctor like yourself. And so he sells these in his practice or he recommends them. And so they've got to be result driven. So these ingredients for sure, we have such an amount of testimonials of gentlemen calling in with their prostate numbers on their tests coming back so much lower, and
Right.
people get really excited about that. But again, when we see saw palmetto, all right, so saw palmetto, we've got pumpkin seed extract in here. Pumpkin seed extract is very rich in zinc, which the male prostate is very, that's one of the largest mineral concentrates in that organ. And so that pumpkin seed is very alkaline forming, and it's an antioxidant, but it's high in vitamin E, but very much so we're just looking at a support overall for antioxidant support with that pumpkin seed and really keeping that that prostate rich in zinc compounds. Okay. And then we've got the saw palmetto, which we discussed earlier, which is really decreasing that enlarged prostate, which happens with one of the prostate conditions, which is BPH, which is,
Right.
like I said earlier, the benign prostatic hypertrophy. So it's basically the prostate growth affects a lot of men over 50. And so we really, which then in turn starts to lead them to frequent urination at night, frequent urination during the day, uncomfortableness, which can lead to UTIs, urinary tract infections, which a lot of men would not be used to.
Right.
So most uncomfortableness. And so it does tend to increase with age, as you know. We've got the flower pollen in there. And so the flower pollen is good, really known to help with an enlarged prostate as well. And so we go back and forth from a Swedish pollen or a Japanese pollen. And what's really neat, it's pollen from 9 male flowering plants, which
Wow.
in retrospect, when you look at the universe and how nature affects the humans as well, that's pretty fascinating that the flower pollen from the 9 male flowering plants is really beneficial to, male testes to flower testes, and really beneficial for that. And so, what else do we want to talk about? What are the other ingredients that are in there? I
Yeah,
think
I mean, that's
many of them in
amazing.
there.
And it's great here on the website here on Emerald Labs how we can see it's used in
Lycopene.
Japan. What's that?
There's lycopene, right? There's beta cysterols, and I think there's what else is in there?
Yeah.
Lycopene, beta cysterols.
Yeah, we have the zinc, we have the selenium in there. But
Oh,
I
some
like that you mentioned
antioxidants.
the flower pollen. That's actually used in Japan as a male pharmaceutical
Yeah.
through the Cernitine. and there's no solvents in there. There's evidence behind all the supplements that we're discussing here, because as men age, like you said, zinc, you can find zinc in the highest amounts in the male body is right there in that prostate. And if we're low in that, right, the prostate starts kind of freaking out and it starts growing, and I call the BPH, it starts hypertrophying and
Yeah,
growing, and then that presses up on that bladder and
right.
causes all these different urinary issues. So the prostate health formulas, again, it's not a guarantee that, oh, this is going to reverse everything, but you're replenishing the body with these minerals that it needs, right? And these herbs like saw palmetto and flower pollen. But one thing I want to mention, Stacy, saw palmetto can help potentially with other issues like blood sugar control too, and reducing inflammation, helping testosterone. So even though it's called prostate health, you might be getting all these other benefits too with it.
Well, I think that that's great that you brought that up, because when I pointed to my head, I was pointing because also saw palmetto's been associated with the DHT hormone,
Right.
which is associated with hair loss. So we also have that in our collagen hair, skin, and nails, which is again uh, dictated for men and women. So our bladder health that you mentioned earlier, dictated for men and women. Our estrogen detox and balance, men and women. Prostate health, obviously just men only.
Yeah.
But these ingredients like the lycopene and the saw palmetto, we're looking at really diminishing the whole oxidative DNA damage that's happening with the cells, right? So we're just trying to, help with a healthy cell division and decreasing that prostate enlargement, and
Right.
also encouraging that healthy urination from alleviating that the what you said, the pressure that
Right.
goes onto the bladder, where when a gentleman's going to have to be waking up frequently during the night, and then when they can't fully empty the bladder, where pumpkin seed also comes into effect because of rich in zinc, but also the pumpkin seed extracts really known to help alleviate the over volume of urine that accumulates from holding it too much of the pressure. So staying, not getting up in the middle of the night until you finally have to, your body's kind of holding on to that urine, right? And then
Right.
it's causing collateral damage as far as it's causing the tonality of the bladder to weaken. And so this
Amazing.
all kind of comes into effect, don't you agree, with
Yeah.
prostate issues and large issues, bladder pressure, then the bladder issue, and then frequent urination at night, and then going to UTIs, etc.
Right. And then some people, not everyone has all the symptoms of prostate issues. Someone, it's just waking up at night to go pee. Some people, it's just all throughout the day. For some, it's just having a weaker stream. So there's different
Right.
ways that it can present with symptoms. So again, that's the prostate health formula through Emerald Labs, the additive free company. Then let's connect that, plug into this formula would be the estrogen detox and balance
Oh,
product,
yeah.
which a lot of men, and I've seen this in blood tests, Stacy, where you literally check not only their testosterone in the blood, but their total estrogen load in the blood. And it's just way higher. Some of them have too much of the estrogens and not enough of the testosterone. So let's hear about the estrogen detox.
So I think one thing that I learned from you guys, over a year ago, maybe it's been 2 years, you and Aaron, you guys with testing your own patients said that this estrogen detox and balance, which is for men and women, is extremely quick working,
Yeah.
extremely effective. And so knowing people's baseline, maybe they don't need two a day, maybe one a day, maybe one every other day, etc. But this product specifically is looking just to reduce the estrogen load, depending on their baseline, depending on their work, where they're working. We have to really take into point what people are eating, where they're working. Is it in a factory? Is it at a toll road? Is it behind a register where they're on BPA register tape all day long? Are they cleaning? Are they working in like hotels or
Yeah.
planes or trains or rental car environments where they are cleaning these every single day with toxic cleaners? Is
Yeah.
somebody traveling a lot for work and being exposed to these environments? And so estrogen detox for men and women, we're not looking at, hormonal estrogens, right, Dehan? We're looking at everyday oxidative stress that this product is looking to alleviate with the active B2, 6, and B2, 12 and folate, I believe. No, B6, 12 and folate, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then the saturated glutathione that we spoke of earlier, albumin, magnesium. We're looking at DIM and I3C for the brassica, from the brassica family, and then a milk distillate with all 6 isomers and 80% silymarins. So what we're really looking at is and correct me if I'm wrong, but alleviating really strong estrogens to make them easier to eliminate through bile and urine. That's how I would describe it right away. And for
Exactly.
men also, what I've heard is over and over from different accounts from men that have tried the estrogen detox with the testosterone health, is they're really able to eliminate the estrogens around the frontal breast panel, the sides, the back, and the tummy, specifically with men, and really being able to show a cut in weight loss with the estrogen and the testosterone help, which is pretty neat.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And then again, we have that saturated, like you said, the glutathione in this product, which is also in the men's multi formulas. So this isn't just for men, though, correct? Even on the bottle here, it says for men and women.
It says on the bottle right on the front there. So we're looking at daily oxidative stress, if you agree with that, and daily either preventative maintenance or what people are bringing in all day long in foreign environments or environments that may be a little bit toxic. So sometimes you can't control being on a plane or in a rental car or a hotel room. Sometimes you can't avoid your job working, tarring the roads or being in a toll road or working on the register all day. But then also this could be attributed to what your food, your water intake is every day and how healthy they are. So another way I would like to describe the estrogen detox would be, for men and women, in my mind, this would be a support system for phase 1 detoxification of the liver between 1 and 3 in the morning. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's bringing in kind of the Chinese medicine aspect with timing, and that's old school medicine where,
An angry liver that wakes you
Yeah.
up between 1 and 3 in the morning.
Right. And then you can even look at the skin tone. The skin is a reflection of what's going on with the liver and the eyes as well. So there's many different ways you can use this and plug it in to your lifestyle. And no, we're not suggesting set your alarm for 2 a.m. to take the supplement, right?
No, because normally you will wake up, you'll start to swim.
Right.
But also when you're referring to, for the consumers to understand what you're referring to, eyes and skin would be, what color are you referring to?
Are you at? Yeah, yellow,
A
right? The
yellowish
yellowing, the
tone.
jaundice.
So
Oh,
when you
yeah.
start to have a yellowish tone, you need just really, and also with your bowels, if your bowels have a yellowish tone, you just need to be really aware of colors that are illuminating possible issues that you might be at risk for.
Amazing. This is the estrogen detox formula, folks, for men and women. Kind of like what Stacy was just saying, you can actually track the blood levels of these hormones and do a before and after. Just check. Just do a before and after blood test. Check your total estrogens or your estradiol, and then take the product for a month or two, and then do another blood test and check these hormones again. And you can just see how they drop afterwards. It helps open up those detox pathways like the liver, the kidneys, to help eliminate too much from the system. I would even start eating more fiber like beans and lentils, which people just don't eat enough of here in North America. Every time I bring up, Stacy, beans and lentils to my patients, they're like, oh my God, I haven't eaten that in months. They barely eat those, which is an entire food group. That's the whole legume family. That's just being
folate alone
right.
in lentils and beans are so good for you and so easy to make if you take a little time to soak them. And I mean, especially like mung beans and dole, all of those lentils are so quick cooking besides a French lentil, but the other ones are so quick cooking with, like, you can add, Ayurvedic herbs like clove and cardamom and cinnamon and these ginger, like warming herbs for the tummy. You can really, add a whole bunch of vegetables and have a little jar that you can make for the week. That could be really beneficial for also to your organs.
And the reason why is because the beans and lentils, they literally bind estrogens in the gut, in the GI tract as they travel through. They grab it and then bring it out through the stool when you have the bowel movements. So that's another way to detox estrogen is through the stool. and improving
And
fiber intake.
that's an excellent point because the bile, the gallbladder, all of that. I think if people wanted to really get a little bit serious about it and think about the healthiest cultures, right away I'm going to go to Ayurvedic to Indian cultures.
Right.
I'm going to go to Chinese cultures. I'm going to go to Japanese cultures. I'm going to look at their daily cooking, which is a lot of, in my mind, preventative maintenance. And unfortunately, in the United States, we're such a young country. These countries are touted for being very old and wise. We're much younger. And unfortunately, we got into fast cooking convenience, in the 50s, and really kind of have devastated our whole national milieu of health overall for
Right.
him in our culture. That's my opinion.
Amazing. Maybe we'll continue this in our next discussion, but this was a perfect, and look at that, 25 minutes already gone. Perfect way to start Movember with Stacy Faulkner. I appreciate you coming on. This is going to help a lot of men. And now these products are even on my radar, and people shopping in the store are going to be hearing this. So thank you, Stacy, for coming on.
And I'm glad you pointed it out on the Emma the lab, or on the lab's website,
Right.
all the different formulas specifically for men. It's very easy to navigate.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Okay,
coming
till
on,
next time.
Stacy. Until next time.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.